I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Frame by Frame. Thank you for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any other type of videos or topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, or what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below. So this is for Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 1. Now, I saw and reviewed the first Stranger Things, thanks to Frame by Frame, mainly. And I thought it was an okay season 1. I liked and I appreciated the look of the film, cinematography, the synthesizer music. I thought the actors portrayed their roles fairly well, especially Winona Ryder, David Harbour, and the main kids, like Millie Bobby Brown, who played Eleven, and the kid who played Mike. But I didn't care for the older sister character. I didn't care for the missing kid's older brother. That whole thing, and the older sister's boyfriend. None of that I cared about. I do think it was something that was drawn out a lot. It was a storyline that I think could have been done, honestly, in half the time. Well, I maintain that the first season could be done as a miniseries, like 3 hours or so, maybe a little over 3 hours, and you would not be missing much. So now we get into season 2, and the first episode I rather enjoyed. I thought it was a rather strong episode to start things off with. This time it takes place in 1984, and it still has that great cinematography, the music. You have songs from Devo, Oingo Boingo, Rock You Like a Hurricane. The synthesizer music still works fairly well. The story is a bit interesting, where at the beginning you find out that there's another character like Eleven that's still out there and can do certain things. I'm sure that'll be played out later. You get to relate to the main kids yet again. Again, it's been like a year or so. And it's nice to see the retro 80s stuff. They go to an arcade. You have Dragon's Lair video game that they play. I thought that was a nice touch. One of the kids, Dustin, gets mad that his high score of Dig Dug has been beaten and overtaken, and the name is Mad Max. I like that. I'm sure it wasn't done on purpose, but that reminds me of a film called Night of the Comet, because that had Catherine Mary Stewart playing an arcade game, and she gets mad that someone overtook her high score. I forgot the initials. Was it DMK? I forgot. It was like a 3-word initial. I forget what it is, but I'm sure it wasn't done because that was for various other reasons. But that's what made me think of Night of the Comet, which I'm a fan of that movie. And in particular, the first half of that film. The second half kind of dwindles down a little bit, but I like Night of the Comet. But yeah, in retro, did the Dragon's Lair, the full motion, the animated cartoon video arcade game. I know my friend Michael, the Choice Voice, he's a fan of that game. He actually, on his other channel, Phantasm, with two S's, he played that. He played that game. I think it was on like PlayStation or something. Like they released it on another platform. I forget which one. So again, the references were cool yet again, like they were in season one. The cast were doing their jobs well. I do like the set where Will, the missing kid from the first season, he is getting these spells. He keeps seeing this image of, I thought it looked really cool effects wise, where it's a storm formation. You have this red lightning in the midst of it. I thought that was a really nice, cool visual. And it definitely sets up impending doom for what could follow. Winona Ryder's going out with Sean Astin. Sean Astin is in this, from The Goonies, among others. And he's making out with her. I do wonder if there's going to be a character that's going to be, why is he in there? Does he really need to be in there? Yeah, I don't know much about the season. I don't know if he'll be a turncoat bad guy, or if he secretly got into Winona Ryder's pants to keep a watch on Will, and you find out later he's a turncoat, or if he is what he appears to be, and just... that's why I'm thinking, like, the way he acts... Oh, I love Mr. Mom. I mean, I like Mr. Mom as well, but just the way he acts, it makes me think something is suspect with this character. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But I mean, you know, still, I like Sean Astin as an actor. He was in the Lord of the Rings films. He was in this film called Toy Soldiers. I mentioned The Goonies. So, nice to see him in there. David Harbour comes back once again as the sheriff. The ending definitely leaves a bit of questions, but obviously there's many episodes to come. There's also this new girl that moves into town, and Lucas and Dustin, the two of the kids, they automatically develop a crush on her. I'm like, okay, where's this going? And apparently that girl is the Mad Max that plays well with Dick Doug. I do like the bit where the lead kid, Mike, you get the idea that he keeps calling on the walkie-talkie, and he's been doing this over and over again. It's just nice to see that he hasn't forgotten the character of Eleven. He still is hopeful, even after all this time, that something will come about. So I just thought that was a nice touch. And the actor who plays the older brother, I don't mind the acting performance by him. I guess in the first season, it just, all the stuff with them, it just seemed like arbitrary. Like we just put in there just to stretch out the running time. But to be fair, there is a nice scene where the missing kid, Will, from the first season, he's hating how people treating him like a freak. And so the older brother goes, well, you are a freak. But what's wrong with that? Why be normal? You know, nobody normal will accomplish anything in the world. You know, it's fine to be weird. So I thought that was a nice Big Brother moment. And it was a nice and understandable why people will be cautious for Will. So it showed that there isn't just this, oh, we forgot about what happened. No, it's like the mom, Winona Ryder, she doesn't want to smother the kid, but she wants to be cautious. Again, I liked that they don't just put that under the rug. As if reset, we're back to where we were at the beginning of season 1. I'm glad they didn't do that. Paul Reiser, he's in this as well. Although I predicted there was something up because it's Paul Reiser. It's Burke. And when I see Burke, I just know something's up. Because it's fucking Burke. You don't trust Burke. And lo and behold, he's the nice doctor. Oh, but he's working with the bad guys. I'm like, push you to the wall, Burke. Right to the wall. You see what you done here? Waste them. No offense. Give you a grenade. In a deleted scene. So I'm sorry. I can't, but Paul Reiser's done a lot of stuff, but he will always, for me, be Burke from that movie. And it's just fucking Burke. I knew Burke was a Two-Faced. And he's a Two-Faced yet again. Again, whenever you see Paul Reiser, don't trust him. Don't trust him. I was right. So I did predict that. Because the doctor is like, doctor seems a bit too... That's why, in Sean Astin, I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. Well, we'll see about him. Maybe he's fine. And there's some nice nods. Like, I guarantee you there's a shot where Will is looking out the door and the door swings open. You see these lights outside. I would bet that's an ode to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When the door opens and the little kid's watching and there's all this crazy stuff happen out there before the kid got abducted. And again, the storm with the red lightning, it looks neat. It's a nice visual. Gives a bit of intrigue. Like, that's a more interesting visual to me than the generic looking monster in the first season. And at the end of the episode, David Harbour comes into his cabin and there's 11 with hair and they're eating dinner. And that's what I mean, like, okay, there's probably a lot of questions. Of course, I would think they will answer, how 11 is still alive, where did she go after the end of the first season, how come she doesn't talk to the other kids. I'm sure this gets answered. But also, hey, David Harbour, you ratted her out and got her almost killed. And that's kind of the thing, is that maybe they do show in a flashback as to how that happened, but it's like, oh, by the way, 11, you do know this guy turned you over, like sold you out, right? The sheriff, he sold you out. Maybe 11 doesn't know that. If she doesn't, she's in for a rude awakening. Yeah, David Harbour, he sold you out. But I do wonder if they put that in there just to, maybe they do know a bit about, yeah, he did sell her out, so maybe something will, because I guess for a year he's been, no pun intended, harboring this little girl at his cabin and teaching her stuff. I mean, it definitely leaves interest, which is a good thing if you want to have people keep watching. Now, I don't know the consensus of Season 2. I don't know if people think it's better than Season 1, worse than Season 1. I don't know the consensus. So if anyone out there is watching this, you put down below, like, what is the consensus of Season 2? Do people say it's better? Do people say it's worse? And perhaps, like, why either way? You don't have to go into spoilers, but just, like, why either way is it better or worse? You can let me know on that. I am worried that, will it be a plot stretched out thin again? Is this another plot that could just go for another miniseries, but instead stretch out to 8, 9, 10 episodes, so we don't put a lot of filler in there? Like, the one bit I didn't care for is, shut the fuck up, computer. I got Windows Defender, stupid fuck. Sorry. God. I love how it does this with just out of the fucking blue for no goddamn reason. Lost my train of thought. Oh, there's a bit where Mike's older sister and her boyfriend goes to this family and they're having KFC, which basically hungry for KFC. But I'm thinking, well, who's this family? I sincerely forgot about the girl that died in the Season 1. Barb was her name, Barb. I completely fucking forgot about her. Because she was, to me, I'm sorry, she was a very inconsequential character in Season 1. I had to sit there for a full minute and go, oh, that's right. that girl's friend, and she died from the monster. And to me, she was barely a fucking character in season 1. She got killed fairly early on. Then, okay, her body was found, and then I didn't care. I'm sorry. I did not give a shit. I did not care. So all this thing with the parents hiring an investigator, and then the sister cries in the back. I'm sorry. I didn't care about any of that. I get it because they brought it up. They want to do that for consistency's sake. But again, it just goes to show you that that's a character in season 1 that I guess really one of the only good people that died, and I didn't fucking remember. And did anyone really sit? Well, that character, I don't even remember if her name was Barb. That might be a name I just made up. I don't remember what the fuck the girl's name was. But did anyone really sit there and go, oh, that character, I miss her? No. So that's what I mean. Like that's a moment I just didn't give a shit about. And like I said, the references are fun. The 80s. You remember that? You remember Mr. Mom? You remember Dragon's Lair? You know, that was fun to see. There is worry that they're going to have so many of these different elements. Like you got David Harbour at 11. You got the other girl that has powers, which her tattoo is like 8. You got the new girl at school. You got now Paul Reiser and those bad guys. You got Sean Astin. You don't have the characters from season 1. Okay, because you put in so many characters, are we then going to deviate to all these subplots that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things? Are we going to be delving into side plots that we don't care about? Is that, okay, we're dragging the story because we have to fit 10 episodes? All because we have so many characters, we're going to go on character 8, 7, and 5. And so your main characters get less and less screen time. Again, I don't know for certain if that will be the case or not. But, yeah, it's an interesting first episode. I'll give you that. I will say the ending... When David Harbour came in, I knew 11 was there. Especially when the how the hell do I... Waffles. I don't know why I can't remember that. Can't remember the word waffles. Immediately you knew that it was the girl 11. That's the thing. Like, it would be nobody else. So it wasn't really a surprise. And because that character was so popular, even if this show was brand new, you would know 11 is coming back. Plus, they put in some of the marketing that she was coming back anyway. Yeah, because she was one of the most popular characters. Because she disappeared, she could always reappear. So yeah, it's not like that was a surprise. It wasn't. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it was a pretty decent first episode. I gotta be honest. And this is a guy that, of the first season, I'll probably give it maybe 3 out of 5 stars. I'd have to think about it. Well, it was okay, but I don't know if I would really ever watch the whole show again. And then maybe a truncated version of it, maybe. But so we'll see how this goes. But thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.